Now, the Malaysian government has approved a new attempt to find the wreckage of the missing airline flight MH370. It's nearly 4 years after it's disappeared. The government hosted a signing ceremony with the seabed exploration company Ocean Infinity to search almost 10,000 miles of seabed far southwest of Australia. 239 people were on board that plane when it disappeared.
The EU's chief Brexit negotiator, Michel Barnier, is hosting Brexit supporters in Brussels later today. Well, the meeting was brokered by former UKIP MEP Stephen Wolfe. He's joined by former Trade Minister Lord Jones and other Leaver Group representatives. And they warned Mr Barnier that the UK will not sacrifice its newly won freedoms to secure a trade deal. Researchers found that over 2/3 of people who ever tried a cigarette became a daily smoker. A study from the Queen Mary's University called the effects cigarettes established after one experience remarkable, and they say it provides more support for reducing cigarette experimentation among teenagers. The French actress Catherine Deneuve has criticised the Me Too campaign against sexual harassment. The Me Too movement grew in the wake of the revelations of sexual harassment by the former Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein. But the 74-year-old, writing in a newspaper column, said that it amounted to puritanism and was fueled by hatred of men. Thousands of tourists remain trapped by heavy snow in the Alps. The snow has affected a number of resorts across the region. In Switzerland, 13,000 tourists are trapped in the resort of Zermatt, whilst 29 people escaped after an avalanche hit a 5-storey building in Sestriere. And in Teen, a British man is missing. Well, let's talk now to Rebecca Smith, a British holidaymaker who's stranded in Zermatt. Very good morning to you, Rebecca. If you will, just talk us through your situation there.
Hi, good morning. So we were due to fly back to England yesterday, but it was when we woke up early in the morning that we found out that all trains and any form of transport out of Zermatt was cancelled. There was a few updates throughout the day saying, oh, we'll provide another update later today, but then they eventually said, no, there'll be no transport at all. This morning we have actually just received some news that from 11:15 they're hoping to have transport out of Zermatt, but we're not sure how reliable it's going to be in order for us to then book another flight back to England today.
And so what's the weather there like at the moment, and how's the forecast looking for the next few days?
The weather's actually not too bad. It seems to be okay. It is pretty cold, and the sun isn't out. It's quite overcast. It's about -4 at the moment, but they've had like the locals out trying to clear the roads. So the roads to us look clear, which is obviously frustrating when we can't get out, but we do know that obviously they've cleared the roads to try and make it so we can at least get out to get food and drink.
We've heard as well reports of people being helicoptered out of some resorts. Have you heard anything about that?
We have heard about it, and we heard about 4:45 last night, this time that people were being helicoptered out, but that was quite frustrating for us because we kept checking the local websites to try and find out if there was any latest news or any new updates. But there was nothing to tell us or inform us that there was helicopters out to be evacuated and so that people could make flight. So we didn't obviously get the opportunity to take advantage of that because it wasn't communicated out to us.
So are the ski lifts and things like that, are they actually closed, or is it advice telling people not to go up?
Yesterday they were all closed, but earlier this morning we did check them to see as to whether they were running and the trains wasn't, or whether it was both. And then around 8 o'clock this morning, one of them was open or opening and the rest was in progress to become open. So they actually opened or have opened before any form of transport out of the Zermatt of.
And I suppose what was supposed to be a holiday for you has turned into a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, we're both quite high-spirited people, so we've managed to keep each other company and still have a laugh, but it's more what we've got to return to England for. I mean, we've got 3 dogs, we've got work, which we were supposed to be in today. So, I mean, you can't really take advantage of it because they're advising, obviously, try and stay safe, don't go out on the walks because of the avalanche risk.
Well, we hope you get back soon. Thanks ever so much for speaking to us.
Thanks, Rebecca. Now,
a British man is missing and thousands of tourists remain trapped by heavy snow in the Alps. The snow has affected a number of resorts across the region, as our reporter Lorna Shaddock now reports.
Trying to get through to 13,000 trapped tourists. Swiss authorities are working to clear the train lines to the stranded resort of Zermatt, where over 6 foot of snow has fallen in 24 hours and nobody can leave. A very few have made it out by helicopter, those who need to. The rest will have to wait.
Just a bit of a nightmare because it's a situation out of your control. You know, you'll get information at 1 o'clock, you'll get information at 3 o'clock. So they're really trying, but I mean, they just can't help it. They're trying to clear the snow when more snow is falling. What can they do?
Even in an area used to heavy snowfall, they haven't seen anything like this for 20 years. This is Tignes, one of France's highest ski resorts, but the lifts are empty. The area under a red avalanche alert after more than 2 metres of snow fell in just over a day onto already heavily covered mountains. One man, John Brommel from the UK, has been missing from the resort since Sunday, when he was last seen heading up the mountain in the late afternoon. Down the valley in Val d'Isère, there have already been avalanches, this one caught on camera. No one's thought to have been injured.
Yesterday we got shut in the hostel. The resort went on lockdown, so we couldn't leave the hostel after 10 and most of the resort just shut at about 10.
The heavy snow blocked access to the resort, with visitors and delivery vehicles stuck. Meanwhile, across the border in Italy, more tourists stranded, but reminded of the danger they face after an avalanche hit a building in Sestriere. 29 people escaped. There is a small break in the weather for the end of the week, but by the weekend, more snow is forecast. Lorna Shaddock, Sky News.
Theresa May is going to announce a crackdown on plastic waste during a major speech on the environment this Thursday. But as part of the government's 25-year plan to cut back on waste, the Prime Minister is expected to say that a 5p levy on plastic bags should be extended from supermarkets to all shops, which is going to be being urged by a committee of MPs to introduce a 25p latte levy on throwaway plastic coffee cups. The Army is launching a £1.6 million advertising campaign to demonstrate it can emotionally and physically support recruits from all backgrounds. With a TV and radio online advert seek to address concerns potential soldiers might have about issues including religion or sexuality. Researchers found that over 2/3 of people who tried a cigarette become a daily smoker. A study from the Queen Mary's University called the effect cigarettes had after one experience remarkable, and they say it provides more support for reducing cigarette experimentation among teenagers. The Malaysian government has approved a new attempt to find the wreckage of the missing airline flight MH370, nearly 4 years after it first disappeared. Well, the government hosted a signing ceremony with the seabed exploration company Ocean Infinity to search almost 10,000 miles of seabed far southwest of Australia. 239 people were on board when that plane disappeared.
thanks, Becky. All Out Politics is at 10 o'clock this morning with Adam.